Steve stepped into the glass-walled conference room at NexusPay's headquarters, laptop under his arm. As the DevOps engineer, he was used to discussions about servers and pipelines. But today's kickoff meeting felt different. Across the table sat Alice, the newly appointed Application Security AppSec lead, along with Bob, a senior software developer, and Fiona, representing the QA testing team. They were about to embark on a major project, building NexusPay's next-generation payment switch, a critical national payment system that had to be fast, reliable, and above all, secure. Alice started the meeting by emphasizing her vision. Security isn't a box to check at the end. It has to be part of every step from concept to deployment, she said firmly. The others nodded. They'd heard the horror stories of software rushed to release with gaping vulnerabilities. Integrating security into the software development lifecycle, SDLC, was not just a mantra for Alice, it was a mandate. She reminded everyone that the best security is designed in from the beginning, not bolted on as an afterthought. This meant involving security considerations at every phase of development, from initial requirements and design all the way to testing, deployment, and even eventual decommissioning. If NexusPay's switch lived out its life and was one day retired, they'd need to securely archive or dispose of sensitive data then too. Think of the SDLC as our project roadmap, Alice explained, sketching a rough timeline on the whiteboard. Requirements, design, development, testing, deployment, maintenance. At each arrow between phases, she wrote security. Requirements needed security criteria. Design needed risk analysis. Development needed secure coding. Testing needed security testing. And deployments needed hardening and validation. Steve chimed in. And operations and maintenance will need to keep patches up to date and monitor for threats continuously. Alice pointed approvingly at Steve. Exactly. And even at end of life, we have tasks like data sanitization. Regardless of phase, security should be involved, she said, echoing a core principle. Figure, the software and system development lifecycle spans from initial planning to design, implementation, testing, deployment, operations, and eventually retirement. NexusPay's team ensures that security activities are woven into each phase, from early risk assessments to secure decommissioning, rather than treating security as an afterthought. Bob, the developer, raised a practical question. Won't involving security at every step slow us down, especially since we follow Agile? We deliver features in sprints, Alice smiled. Not if we integrate intelligently. It's actually more efficient in the long run. Fixing a design flaw or bug after production is far more costly and risky than addressing it early. We'll catch issues when they're easier and cheaper to fix. She added that modern approaches like DevOps naturally lend themselves to this integration. DevOps itself promotes collaboration across development, operations, and by extension, security from the start. Fiona from QA piped up, so practically what changes for us? Alice responded, for one, we'll do a security risk assessment or threat modeling during design. We'll establish secure coding guidelines for developers. QA will include security test cases, not just functional tests. Steve will automate security checks in our CI/CD pipeline, and we'll have change control gates to ensure no insecure code gets deployed. The plan was ambitious but clear. NexusPay's leadership had given their blessing. After all, a breach in a national payment system could be devastating. Everyone in the room understood the stakes. Thus, on day one of the project, The tone was set. Security by design. The team documented security requirements alongside functional requirements, e.g., the system shall encrypt all sensitive data in transit and at rest. The system shall enforce multi-factor authentication for administrators. Alice would review these requirements to ensure they met compliance standards and best practices. They also agreed to hold short security moments in weekly meetings to raise any new concerns. By integrating these steps, Nexus Pay's team embraced the idea that security is an ongoing shared responsibility. Not just the security lead's job, but everyone's job across the entire SDLC.